This is the Heart of LAFC podcast, episode 170.
The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Josef Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. This is episode 170. Oh, what should we call this? I know, back in business, because that's exactly what we are. Welcome back to YouTube, everybody, and I believe Facebook Live as well. Another step in the process, but we're live, people. Here it is. Next episode, really live. That being said, this wouldn't be a proper celebration unless we brought on the team. So let's welcome back Christine Kwon and Cesar Gonzalez. Christine, how are you doing?
This is good for me because I'm gonna have to learn how to make sustained eye contact once again. Just like human to human things. Everyone's gonna see how much alcohol I drink every episode. So I do have a whole backup bottle unopened if I need it. But in all seriousness, super excited. This is definitely a milestone for us. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Agreed. Right. This is one of those moments, right? You got to just catch yourself and go, dude, we're back. Yeah. Cesar, how are you feeling, man?
I'm good. I mean, we've been talking about this for quite some time. I think since I first hopped on to the pod with you, and your goal was to bring this back, and it's something we've been working on behind the scenes, and yeah, it's finally here. I think we're ready.
And not only bring it back, but bring it back right. I think that was our big thing is we don't want to go halfway through it. We don't want dropped calls. We don't want it to be something that's Instagram live that was never the quality that we were before. You know, we have a high bar thanks to Jerry Jimenez, our founder, who the great stage master splinter that he is. Definitely we had a good talk this week and a couple of, I'd say, TED Talks, if you'd like to say it that way, on basically the best ways to get back, what's the best options, and we weighed them, we worked on them, and as you heard him at the intro of the show, our brother Jerry definitely stepped in to give us a little bit of advice and get this rocket launched again. So shout out to you, brother Jerry. Thank you for everything that you've done and that you still do. We're forever grateful, sir. Cesar, are we in for something special right now?
I think so. I mean, what are we talking about?
Well, here's something. That being said, he already broke it.
Just kidding. Yeah.
A toast to all on a return to YouTube.
Yay. Cheers.
Cheers.
So yes, folks, live and direct is how it's going to be. Next episode should be a Thursday at 10:30, and that one will be a live one with all of your comments, as you see running across the board there. We want everybody involved. You can access it by Facebook or by our old school YouTube way. And the comments, we'll see those and we can feature those. So it's a little added bonus that we can actually get everybody involved. And also, if some of you are brave enough, we might even throw you on the show for a little bit. So, sweet. Right. Caesar's looking at me like, dude, awesome. Are you really doing this to me right now? And it'll be, yes, we are really doing this to you, Caesar. Because Caesar, I was doing production a little bit, but Caesar's like this amazing producer, like in secret, right? And so Cesar right now is hitting the switches more than I am, and I'm just like, you go, brother. Like
I'm working on it. And Jerry did say it was going to be something easy to handle behind the scenes here, and I mean, I've been working on some stuff myself, but yeah, I mean, so far it's been pretty cool handling this. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I was working with it earlier, and it looked like something from like Minecraft level. Okay. This guy's PS5, so there you go. He's making it happen. It's pretty wild and beautiful. That being said, what are we here for, guys? What do we usually talk about every week?
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything, right?
Yes, we do. And of course, the lead should always be football, right? LA Football Club. This is what we do. So let's get into the mix because that is what we're all about. MLS news. Christina, would you like to give us a little update on what MLS is doing these days?
For sure. So I think everyone's heard by now that there's an official start date to the season. So it's going to be April 17th. It was originally pushed back from April 3rd because of the ongoing CBA negotiations. And
Mhm.
that means preseason will probably start early March, possibly earlier for the teams that are going to be in the CCL.
Mhm.
So we have a start date. And that's because the negotiations are finally over. We're going to talk about that later. What else? Oh, and one other sort of like news bit this week was that Don Garber mentioned that MLS players and staff will not cut the line for COVID vaccines. So they're not going to get, I guess, preferential treatment above those who are at like high risk and older. So that is the good news, I suppose, for the season.
Well, at least he said one thing right this week, right? Sorry, Don. Not that
Yeah.
much love.
Silence. Dun, dun.
Silence. Dun, dun, dun. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
as our
Right.
screens cut to black,
Boom.
Yeah.
like so
You've
out there.
you've been eliminated from the show. The Don is the Don. We get it, but at least something positive came because even though we got football back, we'll talk later about why it's not always positive from that, gentlemen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We love you, man, but not that much.
We got to
There
keep
you
it
go.
real.
Yep.
Exactly. Got to be honest about what's going on. So,
For sure.
enough with MLS for now. Let's get into our club because, dude, we've actually got some decent news this week. Cesar, what's everybody talking about this week?
I think not just this week, but I think it's been for quite some time. Just because I think we've been bringing up: is it going to be a certain color? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? And it's been a topic for quite some bit. And there's been leaks of certain like what it would look like, and I think just this week we probably got the most legit leak to this day, and
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about our away jersey for this season and for the next season. As we all know, we keep our jerseys for 2 years. So yeah, this will be our kit for 2 seasons, and it was mentioned that it was going to be a pink kit. There is pink gear on sale on Adidas right now. So we all thought it would be pink. And then we all thought we would be having 3 jerseys. And then, the bomb was dropped that no, it's only going to be one club of MLS with 3 kits. So that left us wondering, well, what are we going to end up having? So it ended like the leak shows. It's like a nice champagne gold, and there's no sponsor on it right now just because of the whole deal with YouTube is over. So we're waiting on that portion, but yeah, the kit looks to me pretty simple, nice, clean look. The sleeve, like the end of the sleeve, has Los Angeles printed on it. Again, this is just what it could potentially look like. Not a big fan of that Los Angeles thing on there, but it is something different. Of course, we do things different from every club. So yeah, what do you guys think?
Christine, take the lead on this one, and I'll follow up.
I guess the sleeve part kind of reminds me of like at the top of like boxers or leggings when they'll have like that print like in big bold sans serif font. It kind of reminds me of that. And then like having it like mocked up on Villa, it does look a little weird because it's like flared out. I like the color of it. And yeah, I think it's fine. What do you guys, I don't know, what do you guys like
I mean,
or look for in the jersey?
to me, it looks gorgeous. The color looks gorgeous. I was hearing possible rose gold. It could be rose gold, right? We don't know. It's not a confirmation, but if this is it,
Yeah.
okay. It looks more champagne to me, like Caesar says.
Yeah.
By far. Now, as champagne and beautiful like a Rolls Royce might be, right? That beautiful goldish kind of color, because it does look kind of gold too. Yeah, the Armani Exchange like elastic waistband thing is a little bit different to me. for their money, right? It does look like a little bit like you see like the Underworld model commercials, but it does kind of give that vibe. It would probably look completed and really cool with black shorts, and we're maybe like, okay, now I get the sleeves. It looks really cool. So I'm gonna save total judgment on the whole jersey for that. For now, I dig it. What I like the most, and I've said this a million times, is not having a sponsor on it.
Yeah.
We need the sponsor for the money. I get that, guys, but it's kind of cool to get away with buying one that doesn't have one on it, just because you kind of want that one shirt that you can take around and wear around that doesn't have a big old sponsor, right?
Yeah.
So that's good.
I don't know if you guys have been anywhere like that's not LA, and then you're wearing the LAFC jersey, and then obviously it's like big old YouTube printed on it, and they're like, "Are you sponsored by YouTube?" And you're like, "No, like I'm wearing like an LAFC jersey." So it's like, yeah, I've gotten that multiple times, so I'm kind of glad that I'll be able to buy something without the YouTube, and now I can rep just the club, in a way.
Right. Nice. Right. And I'll be honest, it might sucker me into buying 2 of these things once the sponsor does show up. So,
nice. How many jerseys do you guys have? LAFC jerseys?
A half a closet.
Yeah, I have like 10 or more than 10.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, how do you decide which jersey to wear on any day? Is it like a Monday through Friday kind of thing, where you've labeled?
Yeah, not really, but yeah, like the one with my name, I'll wear it on special occasions. Not really. Nice. And then I have one with nothing on it, so that one would probably be just for random reasons. And then the ones with like players' names, if it has to be specific, if it's like their birthday on that certain match day, or
right.
Yeah, whatever I'm kind of feeling as well, like, okay, feeling this player today, or
yeah.
I'm a dad, so if it's clean and it matches the shoes and jeans or whatever pants I'm wearing, whatever one which matches that part the best, yeah, you're the winner for the day. Congratulations. Yeah, that's totally where I'm at on that one. I did want to give a proposal to the club, and I'm not going to hold back on this. If you're not going to have a sponsor right away, I have a great idea here, and hear me out. We have a lot of amazing nonprofits in Southern California, in Los Angeles, that we all work with a lot. Okay, we're a community club. Is there a chance that while we're negotiating for a sponsorship deal, that you feature them each match? Not that you're selling them, like that would be mass production craziness. But each match that we don't have one yet, feature a different nonprofit that needs the assistance, that needs the motion. And what the heck, auction off the jerseys after the fact, since they're all going to be a special edition anyway. I know that some minor leagues do that, but dude, let's be honest, we're in a situation here that's a bit unique. And I think it would just be a great thing to do, especially under these very difficult times.
Yeah. It's a nice thought. And you're right. It would be a great gesture, especially this year.
We need it. The community needs it. I mean, we see how much people are suffering and fighting and just trying to survive in this rough time. And especially the nonprofits, how rough it is. Their stream of finances is dropped off heavily, and this is when they're being asked upon the most. So help them out. I mean, dude, how much am I going to bid for a Think Watts like LAFC kit? Right? I'm going to get, or AIM. My brother's from AIM. Dude, those ones, like, who wouldn't want to be a part of that silent auction, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So I'm 100%, guys. Let's do this. Or just even if it just says LAFC Foundation, like, that already looks cool with the logo.
It's a genius idea, Joseph.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. I'm going to lobby you guys watching. I'm going to corner Rich and get him on here and talk about that too. So that's that. And of course, I made the crazy comment to them earlier. If y'all are old like me and know who Robin Leach is, I looked at this kit and I said, "Oh, I see. So it's a kit for champagne football and cup winning dreams." See, I can't even say it straight. It's such a dad joke kind of thing, but it does remind me of champagne football. So yeah, I'm in. It works for me. On that note, anybody else want to add anything else regarding this kit leak? Because again, it's not confirmed, but dude, there feels like there's smoke here.
Yeah, someone screwed up big time, I think, and either at LAFC or Adidas, but it seems more likely like from Adidas. I don't think we ever hear anything coming out directly from our club,
Mhm.
it's coming from the outside.
I mean, usually it's so tight-lipped, and we get this crazy, awesome event created by Ben Chi that
Mhm.
Right? Yeah.
Ben, we love you, Ben. That my gosh, it's really cool. Like that last Target event for the last one was really cool at that gas station in Chinatown with Bob and everybody's showing up for it, and there's a whole week of events. Like that's kind of our vibe. Pandemic kind of changes that game, so a leak is a leak, I guess. If this is really the kill, again, I'm not going to confirm it, but boy, it looks real, doesn't it?
It does.
It
It
does.
looks. It
Yeah.
looks. Well, if everyone's been watching what the other kits look like
Mhm.
around the league, and as we all know, Adidas and MLS, kind of like all the kits kind of end up looking similar,
Mhm.
in a way. So it's looking similar to what's been released already.
The cut looks a lot like the Bayern 100,
Yeah.
I guess 120th anniversary kit they had. It was all white logoed out, but the cuffs look exactly the same as that one.
Mm.
And the collar is similar as well. So if it is, I'm happy. Are you guys happy with that kit if that's what we're going to go with?
I am.
I want to go with a super old school retro.
Like laces?
Yeah.
Like you want to have like a tie up here?
Sure, why not? Let's just
I
go
would.
bold. Yeah,
I would totally go with the tie up.
I knew you would be in on this. This is awesome.
The old footballs are hanging around somewhere back there. Anything old is cool with me. I dig old. Old is good. Yeah. There's my Barra 76 looking one back there. So
Ooh.
shout out, boys. Yeah, so that's that. I think we're good with the kit. There was another thing to talk about. Max had a cool interview with Corey Barrett. Well, cool until it got kind of garbled a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But what we did here, I was happy with. I really did enjoy Corey's conversation about early days, how tracking back was something that wasn't his favorite thing to do. But then as he developed, was like, I got the speed for this. I can handle this.
Yeah.
And then seeing the system that Bob plays where it's very high pressure and, the first nearest guy closest to the ball on a turnover, well, you're the first defender. So guess what? You are tracking back. You are putting the work in. You're doing everything you need to do to add pressure. And he was eating it up. Like, okay, this is me. This fits me perfect. Also, his relationship with Tristan. So he's already got a friendly face, and he mentioned that going in the locker room, knowing that there's at least a couple faces that he's worked with before that he knows, and so he already has a support network. And of course, his parents, which was really neat to hear, how they would travel up north for every game, like hundreds of miles up north for his college games, and then come back down here. And now that he's got this giant group of family and friends that can go to LAFC games, I honestly looked at that and the way he was excited about it and went, if man was going to have a career year, knock on wood, this would be it for a guy that gets to play local in a system that fits him with service coming from Rossi and Vela from the sides. You have to be happy for him in this situation. I know I am, and especially with Rodriguez taking off, like,
Yeah.
cool. Like, let's let this kid take his shot,
Yeah.
Christine, what do you think?
I want to do a real quick throwback reference again. When the interview started losing internet connection, it reminded me of, do you remember the old Pepsi commercial where there was like, it's in Back to the Future too, where the guy sounds like he's talking through a fan?
Yeah.
Oh, like the hologram guy? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Um,
Max Headroom, right?
I
Am I
don't
that
know.
old? Am
Is
I
that
that
what his name
old?
was?
It's Max, and he kind of
It
just
was Max too? That's perfect. How appropriate.
Max on Max. Oh, dude, Max Bretos is now Max Headroom. Now, there's your next Halloween costume, sir.
You're welcome, Max. You're welcome.
We
We
love
came
you,
up with
man.
all the creative ideas for you.
You do it too. That's the thing. We'll say that, and then you'll do it because, dude, you're cool like that.
That would be awesome. I think that he seems like a totally like down to earth, hardworking professional. And in terms of scouting for players, I think LAFC, for the most part, almost all the time, is good at identifying what's going to be a good fit culturally and also what they need. And it's all those little things. I mean, he's not necessarily the most flashiest player or on everyone's radar, but he's somebody who's going to work really hard. And yeah, I loved everything that he said, and his temperament and his personality. I think it's going to fit in really well. So I'm also looking forward to him having just a standout season, and I hope that he does.
Praying, Corey. We're in your corner,
Yeah.
sir. Caesar.
I think he's gonna have not think I know he's gonna have the opportunities to go out there and show out, ball out.
Hmm.
The question is who's gonna want it more between him and Moose, just because I kind of
Yeah.
get that same vibe from them in that aspect.
Yeah, totally.
I I think it should be a fun, interesting choice for Bob, and then it's gonna be up to them to see who's putting up more or putting the more work at practice, and
They're going to have a good time competing for
Mhm.
the, for minutes.
I think so. I mean, I would say in a post-up situation, you go with Moose, right? But if you're sending a guy on a tear, Corey.
Mhm.
I think that early stages, I think we already see maybe that would be the case. But they both have wheels, so
Right.
it's going to be fun to see the competition. I'm looking forward to preseason.
Yeah, it's funny that I've been watching the LAFC channel on YouTube from time to time while I'm at work, and they show the LAFC versus Real Salt Lake game in Salt Lake.
Mhm.
And now that I hear his name, I'm like, oh man, now I know who he is, and I can make and like I'm watching him, and I'm just like, okay, like it's it's just good to know the name and and watch him what he did with RSL and what he could potentially do for us.
Mhm.
Yeah, again, it's just I think he fits what we do.
Mhm.
The humility means coachability, right? If you've
Mhm.
got humility, you can be coached. And
Yes.
it's when you have that level of humility, it's like I'm just going to get the ball in the back of the net, not have to chip you or do something fancy and mess it all up. I'm just going to get
Yeah.
the job done. And to me, that's what wins games for us, right? Not the
Yeah.
perfect play, the effective play.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
yeah.
I mean,
Welcome again, Corey. Yeah.
they might not be like the same position per se, but personality wise, it's almost like the exact opposite of B Rod. Would you guys say that? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he's not, again, I don't want to denigrate anybody, but I just think the way our team is coached, the way our team is managed, who fits
Mhm.
best into how our system plays is the guy that's selfless and does the job.
Right.
That's you look at Vela, how much he's changed from when he was playing in Europe to here, where there's passes he's making now that I don't think he would ever even attempt when he was over there because, again, changing role,
Mhm.
knowing the importance of your role, he accepted that. He became a part of the unit. Corey's got that in him. So I think we're in a good
Yeah.
place.
Sweet.
So that being said, I did it. I said it again. There
It's
are
a drinking
some.
game now,
I
Joseph.
was
Yes.
gonna
All right.
say.
All right. Take a drink. There we are. So there was another rumor flying around today. Not like they're rumored to come to us, but there was some drama at FC Cincinnati today. Did you all see Frankie and Naya requesting a trade today?
I
Yes.
did not, but
Yeah.
that's
So
interesting.
if anybody knows who Frankie Amaya is, 20-year-old midfielder, first ever
Mhm.
pick for Cincinnati. He's like their golden boy, right?
Yeah.
First pick. Request to leave. Comments about something about support, development. I don't think there's any mistake that the big signings they've been bring in the last few days kind of shook him maybe, or just made the situation untenable, especially for a player's development like his at 20 years old.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's requested a trade. Now, if you're wondering, well, what's so important about him? Again, he was the number 1 pick in the draft in 2019. What
Mhm.
else? Dude went to UCLA, guys.
Local boy.
Local.
Yeah.
So much local. He was born in Santa Ana. Oh, and he has a Generation Adidas contract.
Nice.
I'd take a flyer on a Generation Adidas player that's 20 years old and was a first-round pick from UCLA. Why wouldn't you take a flyer on that? Why wouldn't you okay, maybe we can shop something here?
Right.
Shot in the dark, right?
So, just in case people don't know, Cincinnati came last in the league. So obviously he's not super happy to be their golden boy, or he doesn't want to stay there. But in terms of a Generation Adidas status, like what repercussions like does that have? Like I don't know the details of that, but do you guys know?
Generation Adidas is an incentive basically for players who leave college early to get into the MLS draft. There's a certain number that get that contract. What it is, it provides incentives for teams that do go after those players. It's actually a little cheaper hit to your salary cap. And they do get paid a little bit more. They're getting paid more, but you're like on your cap, you're taking kind of at a discount,
Gotcha.
I'd say. I'm
Right.
pretty sure that's what it is. But yes, the contract is friendly to the team that chooses. That's for sure. And so on
Nice.
our end, it would be a wise move to get a local kid that wants to probably come home. And let's be honest, do you want him going to Carson? Yeah, stats wise, he hasn't shown. I mean, he's featured a lot. He's only got one goal.
Yeah.
He's a potential kind of player, but having like the youngest team in the league might be a good place for him.
Yeah.
Just maybe. Yeah. So maybe he'll kick the tires. I saw people on Twitter already mentioning him to us, like he would be a great fit. Yes, I agree. I think he would be a great fit too. So that's cool. Maybe. So rumors are good, right, guys?
Yeah.
It's a good
Something
thing,
to keep our eyes on for sure.
Yes, exactly. So that was going on. Other stuff for LAFC news, I would say check the Extra Time podcast. They were talking about how they think that LAFC are going to be a terrifyingly good team this year or someone to watch for. Well, come on, we're LAFC, of course we are. But their arguments were pretty legit. They mentioned that because of the Murillo deal, that was that was the break even moment, because they're like, yeah, they're a different team with and without him. Bringing in a new right back was another one. So we're building out of the back, and for them, they're like, well, if the back line becomes stable, we already know the weapons are there up front. So it becomes, and the midfield is pretty settled. So your weakness has been addressed. Like they were saying, they're going to be scary good. They're terrifyingly good, as they said. So check it out. It was about a 6-minute bit on the Extra Time pod. You can check that on YouTube as well, not too far away from where we're at right now, right? So there I go again. Yeah, I would say definitely tune in on it. Check it out. They're also the ones that were running the rumors about Kun Agüero, so they seem to be paying attention to us every week, which is a lovely thing.
Well, they might know something.
They'd know more than us, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So
the paycheck suggests it, right?
I haven't listened to the pod, but I did read the transcript of when they did talk about us, and something they did mention is that we are going to be scary good this year. But what would put us over the top and what would definitely, get us to the next level, like something that MLS has never seen, is signing a striker for sure. It's what we're missing, and once we could sign a 9 that is world class, I think we're probably going to be on paper one of the best, if not the best in MLS history. So.
What if we had a guy just on Rui Diaz's level?
Yeah.
Right, he's not the most expensive player in the world, and we're talking rumors for guys that probably cost like 10 times more than him. But even hit that level of a player on our squad, getting service from Rossi and Vela. I'm sorry. And then Atuesta and Segura firing passes from the back, and now that you have a weapon at right back, like, I was excited last year before everything went crazy. This year, if we get this big player, another big one. I'm happy. Yeah. And I wear a kit that I can wear everywhere. I mean, this gets even better.
Yeah, it'll be gratifying to see like the decisions that have been made prior to the COVID season pay off, because obviously the COVID season brought up all these unexpected hiccups in the road. So it'll be nice to see actually the front office's decision, the coaching staff had a long-term plan in mind, and then and we're going to be able to enjoy the benefits of that.
Yeah,
exactly. Well said, Christine. Yeah, wait, we're getting our contracts have gone down in rate so far. Our age has dropped, but we're also more stable.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds pretty good
MLS?
to me.
Right? Yeah, it's all good news. It gives us a little cap room. So
Right.
good stuff.
Mhm.
Again, John doing the magic. Thank you, sir. Just keep doing what you're doing. Let's break the duck on that third DP for something special.
Please.
We pray, splurge, sir. We love you, man. Yeah, so that's a good thing. All right, so then there's some other news, right? There's some tournament coming up pretty soon, right, Cesar?
Yeah, but do we honestly care? Nah. But I mean, good for the clubs that are repping, MLS. It's I think we had the draw about, it was on Wednesday, about 4 o'clock, our PM, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so our time. And the draw was a bit interesting just because something that happened caught my attention when they mentioned that Leon couldn't face a club from Mexico, and then yet the pot had every single team in the that was participating in the, and then Leon was still like potentially could have been paired with a Mexican club. Like they didn't do anything to basically avoid it. It just happened to be Leon versus Toronto or Forge FC. So that caught my eye right away, and I was like, okay, this is kind of odd how this draw is working out. So yeah, we're talking about the CCL for 2021, and it's gonna start here soon. I think in May 4th or May 5th is the first match. April 6th.
April, yeah.
April 6th.
April 6th. So I was off by a month. So April 6th and through April 8th is when the first match will be played. And so right now there's still a pending match between Toronto and Forge to see who's gonna represent Canada. More than likely it'll be Toronto. It's kind of, they have a better squad, and yeah, they'll be repping Canada in a way, but also MLS. And then so they'll be facing Club Leon, who we happen to, yeah, good memory.
Yeah, I love that place.
Yeah, both the away match, even though we lost, it was amazing time with the 32-52 and everyone else that made the trip. And then the home game, as we all know, we had a blast at the stadium, and then our boys got the job done. So yeah, Leon against Toronto, familiar faces there. Then you got Columbus Crew versus Real Esti from Nicaragua. Not too familiar with that team, to be honest, but they are the champions of Nicaragua. So we'll see what they can do against Columbus. I kind of see Columbus going through on that one. The next match is Philadelphia Union versus Deportivo Saprissa from Costa Rica. Saprissa is a powerhouse from Costa Rica. They've pretty much dominated Costa Rica since the time they were born, in a way.
They still play on a rug, right?
Yeah. I'm honestly not sure, because I know that their sponsors change, or their ownership changed. So I know that the stadium was one of their things. And I honestly, the last time I saw a Costa Rica game, they weren't even playing in that stadium anymore. They were playing at the stadium where it's natural grass, because I think FIFA was like, you can no longer play at that stadium because it was just crap.
It was a rug. It was a rug. It's the same type of turf that destroyed my knee. That was the kind.
Yeah. So Saprissa, I don't know if it's the same case when they're playing in the CCL, but yeah, again, they'll be playing Philadelphia Union, who is their first time participating in this tournament. And to me, it seems like I don't want to wish bad luck on any MLS club, but again, Saprissa is they're not an easy team. So I think Philadelphia is not going to have an easy time there. And then this one is a really interesting matchup. Atlanta United versus Liga Deportiva Alajuelense.
Yeah.
from Costa Rica as well, and it's another powerhouse from Costa Rica. They're rivals with Saprissa, and they just go back and forth in every single match. They both, one wins the tournament this year, the other one wins it the next year, and so on. And yeah, so Atlanta United, as we all know, they kind of a lot of new faces in their club. So they should have a better season than last year for sure. So that should be an interesting matchup there. And then we got Portland Timbers versus Club Deportivo Marathon. And that one again, another interesting matchup. Marathon from Honduras, another powerhouse. We're talking about a team that has, from year to year, they're always one of the top two clubs between them and Olimpia from Honduras as well. Talking about Olimpia, they will be facing off Club America, another team that we faced in the CCL, and another team that we took out as well. And again, Olimpia is not going to be an easy team for America. That's going to be a match to watch in the first round. And the final matchup is going to be between Monterrey and Club Atlético Pantoja from Haiti. Oh no, that's Cruz Azul is playing the team from Haiti. I'm sorry, not sure where Club Pantoja is from, to be honest. I don't know much about them, but I could, Monterrey. It should be a pretty easy matchup there. And then we got Cruz Azul versus Arcajay. Pretty sure I didn't pronounce that right, and that's the club from Haiti. Again, should be a pretty easy time for Cruz Azul there.
They almost got bounced in Jamaica last year, though.
They did. Yeah, that's very, very true. Can't count these teams out, as we all know. I think was it Olympia obviously surprised a lot of teams last year. They made it all the way to the semis, and yeah, I don't know. It's a weird time to be in this tournament just because of how spread out it is this time around again. It starts in April and it ends all the way until October. So
it's a long tournament.
Yeah, for the amount of teams that are participating, yeah, it's a pretty long tournament.
I got to be honest though, since we're not in this gives us a better chance, and maybe the Open Cup or maybe a run for the Supporter Shield again, because those teams are going to be traveling. They're going to be, if they last a long time, we'll see. But it does take away from those sides that have to play in this tournament. And now that there's home and away and travel, yeah, good luck with that. I'm not betting on anything with the MLS sides this year. They're saying, oh, well, the matchups might be Mexico versus US for the final because the way it's all organized. But
yeah,
we shall see, guys, because every time MLS gets into this mix, we were the rarity, right? I mean, that was an odd situation for us, and we still did what we had to do and got there. And we're minutes away from pulling off a major upset. Yeah, okay, that brings us into the next conversation. Did y'all see what happened at the Club World Cup?
Yeah, that was I thought they had a chance. I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those that kind of wanted them to win just because they were representing CONCACAF, and they were gonna put. Some people are saying they don't represent Mexico. We don't care who they are, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, they're from Mexico. They like it or not, they're from there. So it would have been nice for them to win this. But yeah, Bayern got it done. Not easily, but
No,
they got it done. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Bayern looked like they were on a preseason tour for the first few rounds. It really did. There's a lot of free substitutions, it seems, or at least earlier than expected subs. And Davies looked good, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't their best football, but of course it was always effective, right? That's just, they get the job done. That's what they do. The guys seem really happy.
Who's best football? Bayern's?
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
You
I mean,
mean
they're
because they had like
good.
a million trillion shots on goal? They only scored one.
But if they were in the Bundesliga playing like they were playing, they would get all kinds of hell for it. So
Oh yeah.
there's a certain expectation and a certain scoreline that everybody expects from them. That's just who they are. And a 1-0
Yeah.
against a team from CONCACAF.
Yeah.
Yes, they won, but I guarantee you the conversation is, why didn't we win by 3 or 4?
And it wasn't until the second half. I mean,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would say happy to win it and happy to get this amazing record. Only the
Mhm.
second team to have that many cups or trophies in a season.
yeah.
That was super cool. And yes, I guess I'll have to buy another. It's like my third Bayern kit in 1 year, guys. What's wrong with me?
Joseph, as
Um,
a German, please explain why Bayern is so terrifying. I mean, even when they're playing their B game, I mean, just
okay,
clinical, just seriously clinical.
it's club ethos
hmm
system. They are the Bavarians, and they in their history was the team that weren't allowed to play in the top flight in their first creation of the top flight. They were snubbed and had to work their way into the league, so they've always had a chip on their shoulder because of that. 1860 got in before them, and also the dynamics of being a Bavarian side is not, it's not the most loved region, I'll say that. And so there's always going to be this chip on the shoulder of, yes, we're the biggest local club in the world. That's
Interesting.
where they're at. And now their goal is to have the most members in the world, which they do too. So yeah, it's very much this internal push. There's a chip there. And so they have to be the best. It's just the way it's got to be. And they're going to work the hardest to get there. But they're not doing what Barcelona does. They don't play in the red. That's not allowed. You have to make money. You have to be on the right side of the money. So it's also that too. The community aspect is still there. So in many ways, they haven't lost the small club mentality. But when it comes to player acquisitions, they're insanely aggressive and make sure they get the job done. Is it a little unfair these days in the Bundesliga? Yes. I would prefer that it was more competitive. I think it's kind of sad to see that the other teams can't get there, and it has to be here's the issue now. It has to be a very bad year for Bayern for anyone to have a chance to actually take the win. It has to be an off year. It can't be them being good and the other guys being good, because that team will never be that good.
It's like having the same homecoming king every year, year after year. It's like, oh Lord.
I love the trophies and I love that really cool patch, but
Mhm.
part of me does wish that sometimes they'd get scared a little bit and there'd be something more competitive. And yes, they got shocked, I know, in the German Cup. Yes, there was a surprise there. But let's be honest, was it laughed about more than anything else? I mean, it was anger in the moment, but it would kind of be like, well, okay, well, we still won this many trophies in a year. So let's move on. So yeah, there's anger. They didn't win that, but I will say it's sometimes they need to be humbled. It's okay to be humbled sometimes. It makes you better. Maybe it made them better for this tournament so they could go in and take it. But yeah, it's just the Bayern mentality that you have to win.
It's awesome actually to see players go through that. I mean, I'm just thinking about like physically how Coutinho looked before and after.
Right.
It was like this before, and then he was like this, and I was like, okay, this is the effect. This is the Bayern effect.
You're brought in. You're part of the family, and once you're an alum from that team, you're always going to be an alum. Like when they came to LA, Elber was with them, Lothar was with them. Like if you're a legend, you become an ambassador of the club. So not even like the biggest legends are getting to be ambassador. I mean, once you're in, you're part of the family. So as competitive as it is, as much as the turnover is what it is, they still are doing everything they can not to lose the local team mindset. So it's a fun team to watch, and it's probably the only front runner that I ever put my cards behind. In truth, you see the other stuff behind me. I'm not really. I usually don't like the favorite. I don't. I like the challenger. But that's the one team where, since I've grown up with it, yeah, that's just how it has to be.
Yeah, we'll allow it.
All right.
We shall allow it. But that means LAFC is now only the third best team in the world, right? Technically.
Come on, people. Let's be honest. If they freed it West, there would have been us in that show.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be real. Look
That
at who
would have
they
been
beat.
so crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live on the we will never know boat.
We will never know, but we can always dream.
Yes.
Yeah, we can always dream for sure. Yeah.
I'd rather be the jilted Atuesta guy. If he was there, we would have been. Yeah. So it is what it is. Everybody expected Bayern to walk away with this. I don't think anybody expected Palmeiras to lay an egg the way they did. I mean, I said they were beatable, but
Yeah.
they laid an egg, let's be honest. And Tigres, it took care of biz. So
Yeah.
congrats to Tigres, though. I mean, this is the best finish ever for a CONCACAF side, so congrats to them.
Right.
But it should have been us. And that's just how it's got to be.
Yeah.
Debbie Downer on the deal, right, guys?
They repped and they tried. They tried hard. It's
They
just
did. They did.
They
Honor on CONCACAF, right? I mean, by doing that.
Right.
So that's that. Now,
Right.
if it wasn't downer enough that we weren't in the Club World Cup final, the CBA, yes, we mentioned we were going to talk about it later. And so it's like doing taxes, right? It's tax season for us right now. We have to talk about this
Dang.
ugly thing.
Can I mention something? Because I forgot that we also had other news that came out this week regarding the U.S. Open Cup. You guys heard about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's only going to be 24 teams participating this year in the U.S. Open Cup, and only 8 MLS clubs are going to be invited. Yeah, invited.
How many teams are there usually?
102 or 104, something like that.
It's ever changing because there's qualifiers and play-ins for amateur teams as well.
Yeah. Yes. It's pretty. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is LAFC might not be playing in the US Open Cup. We thought that we might potentially be playing the US Open Cup this year. So it might turn out that we might only be playing like one single tournament aside from MLS Cup playoffs. We'll just be playing the league. That's what it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Did they mention who the teams were going to be? No, right?
Not yet. But if we start thinking about fairness and all that, and league positioning from last year, or we ended up in 7th in the Western Conference, and if you read the article that or everything that they released, they took into consideration many things when they thought about this. One being the schedule, when the games would be played specifically. So essentially they would the dates are open when the teams participating in the CCL, they'll be free on those days to play the US Open Cup. So it seems like they'll have the first, options to go to the US Open Cup, and then they'll fill in, whatever is kind of left over. And my way of thinking it would be is the table. In the Western Conference, you take your top 4, and in the Eastern Conference, you take your top 4. It only makes sense, but at the end of the day, they haven't said what's going to be done yet. And we finished in 7th in the Western Conference. All in all, in the table, I think we're like 9th or 10th, I think, after the fact that if you put the Western and Eastern Conference together. So we're out of the top 8. And then again, it's just going to be interesting to see how they decide who the 8 clubs of MLS allowed at the U.S. Open Cup. But
if they're Canadian, they're out, right? So
yeah,
that's a few less. And if they're in the CCL, maybe they're out too.
Well, the only club is Toronto, but then again, that doesn't even play a factor into the league table or anything like that. So the chances of us not being in the US Open right now are basically 50-50 on paper or anything like that. But if it's me looking at everything and putting all the puzzle pieces together, I would say we're maybe between 10 to 20% chance that we would be playing the US Open Cup.
But then again, are there teams that are above us that just don't want to play in this thing? Because that's a reality too.
That would be interesting.
Right. I mean, let's be honest. I've seen it many times where a team goes out there and tanks it in their first round and puts a bunch of youth players or a bunch of reserves in and just kind of tosses it away.
Think about it this way: the winner of that tournament is going to get an automatic berth to the CCL 2022. So you best believe it's an easier chance. There's only like 4 games you have to play now.
Yeah.
As opposed to like 7 or 8. Well, what was it? Yeah, like 7 games or 8 games in the past.
Right.
And the first game you're playing it so early in the season when your schedule is so stacked up that you're like, I'm gonna throw my second team in there. I don't care, that if we get it done, we get it done. If we don't, whatever. I still could go out and win MLS Cup or win the Supporter Shield or whatever. But no, like this time, like you legit have even like USL teams have a legit chance if they wanted to. Like they could just go and park the bus, try to look for one goal. They only have to do it for like 9 times 4, 360 minutes. So yeah, it's very possible. Is all I'm saying. All you have to do is win like 4 or 5 matches. So I think any MLS club that gets invited is going to throw their first team out there just because the weight that the CCL is holding now, after us making it to the final, Montreal almost winning it a couple years ago, and Toronto almost having a chance a couple years ago as well. So we're this close. MLS is this close on winning it. So any team invited to the US Open Cup this year, I think is going to do their best to win the cup. And I hope that we get the chance to play it, because I think we could win it with the squad that we have. We should win it. I should say we should win it, and it would just suck if we don't participate in that tournament, which I see that happening.
Taken off the field before it even happens.
Yeah,
sad, but
bummer.
We underperformed last year, so
that's the thing. And yeah, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot.
We did. Yeah. We did. It is a horrible finish, and we really never got the engine going until we actually got into CCL, let's be honest. So there it is. We will see what happens next. Oh, man. Now not the fun part, the CBA. Well, I mean, it's fun because a CBA was signed. Okay, so good news. Let's focus on the positive. A CBA is in place. We're going to see football this year. There will be no lockout. There will be no strike. The season got delayed by all of 2 weeks. Football's back. Back in business, as we say on the title of the show. Back in business for many things. So that's back. But it took a lot of consternation, a lot of attitude, a lot of really aggressive tactics from the league. Supporter groups turning on the league. Jumping on with MLSPA, getting other player associations from different sports to show their support for the MLSPA, and all of that thunder and all of that madness. At the end of the day, I'll ask you guys, who won the CBA talks?
I don't know if MLS or the club owners. Maybe both, but I think the club owners.
What's the one group you say wasn't a winner in all of this?
The players.
Players. Yeah. No doubt about it. We want them to fight for what they deserve in this world. But it very much felt like life was tough last year, and our mid-range players really aren't going to have the sustaining power to go through a long negotiation and a war.
Yeah.
And so weird concessions happened that to be honest, like it was minuscule for the players, and it was all about the aggression and push by the ownership. They won. There's no doubt they won. We won because we get football, but did we really win?
No,
because certain things happened. Like one, the salary cap dropped. Now, if y'all want to win the CCL, do you think you're going to do it with a lower salary cap?
No. Hell
no.
So, yeah, okay, you protected the league long term technically, but not really because it wasn't that much. But one thing you did do is you prevented yourself from being competitive against your regional rivals.
Right.
Because they're not making pay cuts, even though life has been hard for them too. They thought about the football first.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think MLS at all thought about football first in this conversation. Doesn't feel that way. So, yes. So this is where we're at. So negotiations. So what year are we at now? Pushing to 2027, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Yeah.
got exactly what they wanted. The
Mhm.
only thing we saw that is a 24-year-old can get free agency after 4 years rather than 5.
Right.
Top tier free agents are eligible for larger salary increases when switching teams. To
Mhm.
establish what top tier is, I don't know. The charter flights were maintained, but come on, let's be honest. Are you really getting much there? No.
Yeah.
I keep looking at everything on here. Improved economic terms from original CBA, 7.5% increase to salary budget in 2025 and 2026.
Mhm.
10% increase from 2026 to 2027. But lower for all the other years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And for players who are not going to even be playing in 2025 and onward, I mean, it's a moot point. But I think they had to take what they could get. It's interesting because I think in a lot of assessments of this new CBA agreement, it was that the players didn't have a choice. They were, between a rock and a hard place. They didn't have much leverage because in reality, they couldn't afford to stop working for more than a few months because
Right.
over a quarter of them made less than 80,000 in 2019. And so they got bills to pay. So they needed to think about first and foremost how they're going to pay their bills. So I think the question now in this contract was, did the league have to be so aggressive in controlling the players' futures through 2027? And it's clear that they wanted that control no matter what. Then the players, they got they got what they could get, which was minor concessions, which was that free agency, which was like, a minor salary increase. But it's no secret that the control that the league is going to have is going to significantly, stifle or control the revenue that the players could have had if they were able to renegotiate their contract earlier.
Yeah. The interesting part is the fact that they got to push it out to 2027. And something we met or Joseph mentioned in episodes before is that the World Cup is in 2026, so that plays a huge factor, obviously. And the only thing I would say that is somewhat good out of this is that in 2025, the market revenue share would be 25% as opposed to 12.5.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, if they didn't renegotiate the CBA and were able to go back to the table in 2024 or in 2025, as opposed to 25%, they would have potentially got 50 or 60, 70% of that revenue or, share and, distributed through the players, which is the plan. But now it's like they got away with it. They got, they only have to share 25% of that revenue, which we know is going to be a stupid amount of money. We're talking about not just they lost $1 billion last year, which we all know is bullcrap. They're easily gonna make it up before the World Cup even comes, just because once the Qatar World Cup is over, guess what? The marketing starts for the US, Mexico, Canada World Cup. It has to start the day after. So boom, money starts generating right away. And they get 3.5+ years of that or more, because the World Cup. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, 3.5 years to basically come up with, billions and billions and billions of dollars, which we know they'll be able to get, and they're only going to have to distribute 25% of that in 2025.
Right.
So it's a huge loss. It's a huge loss for the players.
Right.
The other thing. Oh, go for it, Christine. Go for it.
No, actually, I was going to ask you, Joseph, what you think, like, I guess the downside of this would be for the ownership, if there is a downside, knowing
Okay.
that they pretty much got what they wanted because they have all the control here. But what
I
do you think could have been a better decisions,
I can't
on their
help
part?
but to think that the teams that want to do something at the international level feel like they lost something here.
Mm-hmm.
The teams that want to do things. So the New Englands win, right? The New Englands win at the expense of maybe Atlanta United and LAFC.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, why? Well, they need a higher budget to play in CCL or even the Club World Cup. Things are going to expand in these tournaments now, and you need more money for that. So are they going to get all weird and make new salary cap rules in the middle of this contract? Who knows? This league is always goofball when it comes to money. So you got to wonder, do the teams that are dynamic and are trying to push this league forward feel like, dude, you kind of hamstringed us a bit the next couple seasons because we can't see an increase. It doesn't exist. It's not real because you already cut it down.
Mm-hmm.
How do we pull new players when you're doing this? Are you going to add a new DP down the line? Is
Right.
this happening or is this not? To me, it just looked like the teams that have always historically held the league back, those owners are still running the show
Mm.
at the expense of the young, dynamic teams in this league that want to make a name for this league. So to me, yeah, in the short term, yeah, look cool, man. We got this crazy deal. All this money is going to be coming in. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But from a football standpoint, when you're trying to make a statement as a league,
Mm-hmm.
can you be taken seriously doing this?
It's easy to point out because you brought up a good point, Joseph, that there's certain people holding the clubs and the league back. And to make it easy for everyone to understand, just look at what clubs are spending money in this window, and then look at the clubs that are not spending the money this window. That in
Mhm.
itself will tell you who is trying to be or who is trying to have a progressive league and who isn't. And it's pretty darn obvious who is and who isn't. And I won't throw any clubs under the bus. Probably will at some point, but right now
Yeah.
it's pretty darn obvious how many clubs are out there who are trying to hold the league back, hold the LAFCs, the Atlantas, the Cincinnatis, for God's sake,
Look at the
who
money they threw out this week.
Yeah.
they finished in dead last year, and they just came out this window and boom,
Right.
splurged cash. Like many people can talk crap about Ohio as a state and whatnot, but like you got some owners who freaking care. So what more can you ask for, from some clubs? And
Mm-hmm.
we could definitely be asking a lot more from those clubs who are, holding the league back for sure.
We need to get those owners on the show,
I
and
I wouldn't. They're too busy worrying about making a tax
let's
shelter out of this whole
reel
thing.
them
rather than-
in,
Yeah.
and then
the ones
I
that want
mean-
to do like us will do, right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it. Christine, any other
I
thoughts you'd
mean,
like to add to this?
it's just like there is ample evidence that this league is really taking off. So it's really short-sighted for ownership to, put their shoe on top of it and try to, tamper it down. So, I agree with everything that you guys are saying. I hope that if anything that is good that comes out of this is just more awareness of how much players are actually getting paid, how much they have to fight just for basic, concessions that they should have, like charter flights. And the last thing I would kind of throw out to you guys is, how do you think this fits into the larger context of leagues, football leagues in other parts of the world, and maybe, just American sports in
Great
general?
question. That's a really good question because just put it this way. What other league, like soccer, we're talking about soccer, right? What
Mhm.
other league in the world are you gonna go to a team and be like, and there are teams who are handling their books this way, but
Mhm.
the league doesn't have it at this budget where it's like your roster is only allowed to be at 4.9 million and blah 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 and 3 DP
Wow.
spots and this and that. because there is rules around the world where, your salary can't go over, 150 million or whatever, depending on your league and whatnot. There are those restrictions, but the magnitude that the MLS is holding these clubs and players and everyone back is absurd, just because these very same owners are owning teams in Europe. Like, for example, and this has the Glazers family. I don't know who they own in MLS, but they own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who own the Manchester United. We're talking about billionaires, and they're over here afraid of paying a player 120K a year because of blah blah blah, this and that, and it's just like that's the thing that doesn't make sense it doesn't make sense in my mind, because they don't care about spending money in other areas, but then when it comes to like where certain people like actually do care and want to make it something more than what it is where they're like, no, like, my pennies mean more than what you think or feel or whatever it is. So just to really reiterate, these very same owners are don't mind spending money in dumb areas, whether it's in mansions or yachts or whatever that is. It's pretty absurd. So I wish we had owners who cared, is what I'm saying. I know we do. I'm just saying the league overall.
Well, the other thing is these other teams in other countries, it always comes from football first. Right? I don't see that here. Now, you tell me, as a young American player moving up, say you're going to choose an academy, right? You start off with an MLS academy. Why would you stay? The minute somebody came knocking, you're going to jump. Why would you stay? Say you sign a contract, entry level. You can't be a free agent for how many years? At what age?
Right.
Why am I going to do that?
Absolutely.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's it. If you think about it in the money making way, in the business way, it makes total sense, because you're going to keep them restricted at, I'm only going to pay you 50K, 70K, 80K a year because I got you for free, essentially. But let me go sell you for $8 to $10 million. So now all that money is profit, because I only paid you about 100K or 200K in 4 years. So that profit, like, that's massive profit. That's why they're doing it, because that's where the money is currently, making money off of these kids. I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but it's a way of making money.
Say it, Cesar.
It's
Come
business.
on.
It's business.
It's
but as a footballer, why would you bother? If you had a
Exactly.
chance to get a look-see somewhere else, an academy somewhere else, wouldn't you do it?
Oh, absolutely. As a player, like, there's no reason to stay in this league. If you want to make this league more competitive, you're going to have to pay the players more. Bottom line, there's no way around it.
Yeah, quit disrespecting the domestic player, because this is, at the end of the day, when you read all this, they're taking the brunt once again.
Yeah, and I think, to Caesar's point, it's like owners are trying to take advantage of players that they think have no other options, and they think that they can get away with, throwing them crumbs. So I hope that does change
soon, hopefully.
Well, seeing who's showing up for the national team now and where they're coming from suggests that they don't really need MLS.
Totally. I mean, it's such an exciting time. So for American players. So I hope that they continue to shine and prove these owners wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Agreed. Wow, this episode's been a good one so far. We got a little heavy, as we should. But at the end of the day, yes, football is back. And there's rumors, and it's all beautiful things. And we're back to this again, so a lot of things to be happy about.
Yeah.
Anything? Oh, yes. Ben Verhen. Shout out to the brother. Doing his thing, writing it. You're not going to see much from him this week, but he'll get back on the schneid pretty soon as we get a little bit more news. Of course, that leaves us into this other realm. They're like, not me. Don't pick me. No, pick me. Who wants to step up for the final thought today?
What is it?
All right, whoever has the
I'm having
fullest,
trouble with the mirror image.
Yeah.
whoever has the fullest cup has to go first.
Okay, well, I definitely drank like 5 glasses of wine, so Caesar, you go.
All right.
There
All
it
right.
is.
I'm glad that we get to bring this back with Joseph. First of all, I think, like I just mentioned earlier in the episode, it's something we've been talking about. It's cool that we get to make it happen. It's been a lot of fun without the camera, without having to be in front of you guys, but it's definitely going to be a game changer. I think going forward, it's going to be fun to communicate with you guys like on real time, like live feed, and bring some of you guys on here from time to time. So yeah, I think at the heart of LAFC is bringing something better and bigger going forward, and I think you guys are going to be a big part of this, and can't wait to get to meet more of you, and yeah, keep this going with Joseph himself, with Christine, with Jason, LAC Punk, with Fresco whenever he comes back,
Back into the realm. Yes.
with Benjamin. With anyone who's a part of LAFC. Specifically Joseph, I'm very grateful that he invited me to this, and yeah, I'm excited for what's coming.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Well said, Christine.
Okay, so I'm just reading about the year of the ox because guess what, guys?
Ooh.
By the time this episode comes off, it is going to be Lunar New Year. So happy Lunar New Year.
Wait. Now
It
that you said
is
that, I got this today from a coworker. I'm not gonna make you guys read it, but that came with.
okay.
You're gonna know this. It came with
Piece
this.
of paper. Oh, red envelope. How much
Yeah.
money was in there?
So
$1?
it was supposed to be $2 because that's like what they traditionally do.
Mhm.
But I guess her local bank ran out of $2 bills, so she sent a $5 bill, which is pretty cool, right? $5.
Upgrade.
Yeah. So, but what made me laugh is she's like, in the spirit of economic inflation, please accept this $5 instead. So so if you guys don't know, I'm an accountant. She's part of my part of my team. So inflation is a bitch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty funny that she mentioned that. But yeah, happy Lunar New Year to everyone out there.
Yes.
Happy Lunar New Year. Year of the Ox. My
is
son
the year
got
of
a
ox.
$2 bill and an envelope as well today from his teacher, which I thought was super cool. They mailed it to
Oh,
the houses.
cool.
And yes, teachers are amazing.
So thanks for reminding me, Christine. Good reminder.
You're welcome.
And Year of the Ox. Does anybody know anybody by the name of Ox?
What? Ox?
What? And there's a live broadcast coming up next week.
What's up, Ox?
Are we summoning the Ox for the Year of the Ox?
I think so.
I think we are. Back to you, Christine. Sorry about stealing your thunder there.
No, you guys got so excited. I was just gonna read like this thing I found on the internet about the year of the ox. Okay, according to one myth, well, the ox, first of all, is the second of all zodiac animals, and according to one myth, the Jade Emperor said the order would be decided by the order in which the animals arrived to the party. The ox was about to be the first to arrive, but the rat tricked the ox into giving him a ride. And then when they arrived, the rat jumped down and landed ahead of the ox. I just found this on the internet, you guys. Please don't troll me if this is wrong, but I thought that was a cool story. Happy Lunar New Year. Hope everybody gets money. And I'm looking forward to our next episode.
Yes. Thank you, Christine, for the reminder. And I love that story. And I will definitely share that to my little ones. They will love everything about the clever rat and the ox. You're in their wheelhouse with that one. Well
Sweet.
done. Thank you. Is it my turn now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, when we said back in business, we really did mean back in business. We didn't advertise we were going to take this shot. We just went, you know what? It's right when it's right. And so thanks to Jerry, brother Jerry, thanks to Cesar, thanks to Christine for the vision that they all had to push this thing across the line. I could not do this without any of you guys. You're the reason why we're doing this. And so for me, I feel like kid in a candy store. Thanks to my team getting me across the line here to make it happen. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Fresco. Thank you, Ben. Again, the journey. You're part of that journey, and you're still on that journey. So don't think you got away, because you'll be on this show soon enough, and you won't be able to hide. Get your cameras ready. It's on. Same with the LAFC family. You guys are on point now. Comments will be live. We can feature your comments. We can do all that, and also put you on screen if necessary. So get your cameras ready too, because definitely we're going to invite some friends over for this little show here. We are beyond happy. We feel like we're whole again. Heart of LAFC is whole again now that we're going to have this show. So welcome back, everybody, into the fold. That's what we wanted all along, and here we are. If you look across the bottom, yes, next episode is when, guys? Who wants to tell them?
February
18th.
Thursday. After the normal Thursday news dump, we're going to come on. And here's the improvement. It's on YouTube, but it's also on Facebook Live. There may be some other mediums as well as we develop, but that's where it's at. Please send us comments on YouTube. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us improvements that you'd like to see, segments that you'd like to see. We welcome all, because again, this show is for all of you. This has been your show from the beginning. And yes, it felt kind of private when we had to come off air, but guess what? We're back where we need to be again. So again, thank you, everybody. Nothing but love. Shout out to everybody within the LAFC faithful, owners, management, Rich, Pat, Robbie. We love you guys, and we can't wait to see y'all back on here again. So on that note, stay golden.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.